So I've mixed up just one solid green here so that the first thing we work on are leaf shapes. And I'm using a pointed round, twirling my brush around in it, and then I take some of the extra off by rubbing it on the edge of my palette. And the first leaf shape is going to be this one where we put the tip down, push down, and come up to the point again. All right, now you guys have definitely seen me doing this before, but just a reminder that to get used to these positions and shapes, you want to make the thinnest line that you can with your paintbrush with just the tip of it. You make the thickest line you can with your paintbrush, right? And then your leaf shape should really incorporate both of those as you get used to making these strokes. So we're going with the thinnest line, pushing down for a nice thick line and coming up to that thin line again. When we do this leaf shape, there's some really common mistakes that people make, or not even mistakes, but I just see this a lot and I get asked questions a lot. So if this happens to you when you're painting, where you get these kind of globs of color in between your paint strokes, or maybe it's even all the way down, but then when you pick it up, right, you get this kind of glob. Usually what happens is you have a little bit too much paint on your brush and you're going too fast. All right, so I'm going to take some of that paint off my brush and just show you that when we go nice and slow and keep the pressure consistent and then pick up our brush slowly, you're not going to get those globs of paint. All right. Now, sometimes you might want those. Maybe it's a texture that you're interested in. So you can absolutely do it. But if it's frustrating you that you're getting these, I see a lot of times there's like a glob of color in the center like that. Okay. And if that's happening to you, your pressure is varying. Okay. So you might be depositing a lot of paint and water there without realizing it, or you're just going too fast. So try and go slow. Right? Always keep your brush moving. Don't stop your brush. Even as you're picking it up, you're not stopping your brush. Now this stroke is useful just like it is to make these pretty leaves. And we can do this all different angles, right? So we can have our brush strokes go this angle. We can go down and you can fill up whole pages just practicing making leaves this way. Okay. And then you can start trying to have them be different sizes. So we can do small ones or very long ones. Okay. Lots of different variations just with this one thing. It can create a beautiful background leaves. So when you get this stroke down, we're going to start adapting it to be a little bit more sophisticated. I'm just going to add a little bit of blue in here just to make it look different. Okay. And now you can start changing your brush stroke a little bit so that we come around. So now you're going to curve it a little bit. Instead of just going straight, start curving this stroke a little. Okay. And again, by itself, that makes a beautiful leaf, beautiful background. Okay. But when we start adding those strokes together, so one this way, and then curving one this way, and joining up again, we end up with a very, very nice leaf shape, right? That kind of classic teardrop leaf shape. And again, remember that you can get lots of variation from the sizes. Okay, so here's one that's a little bit more round. Here's one that I'm just drawing out a little bit, and that looks a little more elongated. Okay, you can do one that's very round just by changing the pressure and direction of your brush. And I'm always twirling my round brushes over here in the water to get them to have that nice point to them. Okay. And again, consistent pressure. And I'm not moving too fast. And you want just a very small line in between to represent the vein. I see a lot of people, they will go like this to make this leaf and this to make this leaf, and then it won't look exactly the same, right? They have a big gap here. So if that happens to you, just work on getting that nice and narrow, because you just want just the glimmer, right? Just a little bit of a vein there.